I'm Chuck Akers with Alaska Rural Partners. Today I have with me Tom Harris, President and CEO of Alaska Village Initiatives. We have been collaborating on a couple of projects. One, private lands wildlife management. These are opportunities we hope that will help development to occur in rural Alaska. Tom, can you elaborate?
Yes, thank you, Chuck, for this opportunity. Private land wildlife management is the opportunity for rural leaders to bring solutions, economic development solutions, to their communities. As we all know, rural Alaska has never faced such challenges as we face today in allowing our villages to have the resources to survive. This is both a state issue and a national issue for Alaska and America.
Alaska Villages produced a tape on this particular program. We'll run that now, and afterwards we'll have a couple of comments.
Thank you, Chuck.
Alaska has over 44 million acres of privately held wildlife lands
conveyed under the Alaska Native Claims Settlement Act. Over 90% of those lands are not open to the public,
are not managed for wildlife habitat restoration, and are not meeting the needs of their owners,
either for subsistence, employment, or revenue. This program introduces
a successful method of land management that provides for quality wildlife habitat restoration, increases
subsistence harvest, creates employment and revenue opportunities, and initiates
controlled public access on terms and conditions acceptable to each community.
We are America's largest private landowner as a community, and for the most part that land has been lying fallow. It's now time for that resource to be managed to the point where it is providing economic benefit to the community on terms and conditions acceptable to the community. The benefit here is to allow that private landowner and their community to access the world market in attracting visitors. With the loss of timber and commercial fishing to these communities, there's very little left to help revitalize those economies. Those industries are crashing at the same time that we're seeing recreational tourism in Alaska grow to unbelievable levels. In the past 7 years, we've seen this industry go from $530 million a year to over $1 billion a year in revenue to the state. Our focus here is to help that private landowner and the community access some of that market that is currently growing. That marketplace must be accessed on terms and conditions acceptable to the local community. Private land wildlife management is a program that promotes the economic well-being of rural Alaskans through the managed restoration of wildlife habitat in a manner that promotes a healthy wildlife resource. A healthy, abundant wildlife resource creates adequate subsistence opportunities as well as eco-adventure tourism and recreational harvesting opportunities that can help sustain a rural economy. We have a situation here in Alaska where we are not producing from the land the wildlife resource that should be there. This program first is focused on restoring that habitat to a healthy, vibrant production level, and then using that production level to meet the subsistence needs of the community and the surplus made available to the world market as the local community determines. As it was in the timber industry and the commercial fishing industry, the groundwork had to be laid. The communities had to understand what that market was and what market share they could reasonably access. We now have the opportunity to, again, lay the groundwork for a new industry called private land wildlife management or recreational tourism, and allow those communities to establish their market share, understanding what the market is, what they have to offer, and how best to recoup those benefits for the benefit of the local community.
There was a suggestion from our board members that
We're doing it in a couple of ways. First of all, education and advocacy, but also assisting in the creation of Village Wildlife Conservation Cooperative. This is a unique organization in that it brings the landowners and major players in this industry, the Nature Conservancy, Safari Club International, the Alaska Professional Hunter Association, and others, into the same room to discuss mutual concerns and mutual opportunities. For the first time, these groups are able to dialogue in an environment where they're all equals at the same table.
There was also some discussion about our pilot projects.
Once the community has made a decision to pursue this as an industry, the landowner in this particular case needs to work with the creation of a business plan and exactly how that community will benefit. Alaska Village Initiatives can assist in the creation of that business plan, not only in the drafting of it, but identifying resources that are out there, and identifying investors, and then identifying grant opportunities, and also identifying markets which could also be investors. There are numerous levels that the community may choose to involve itself, everything from being fully engaged as the operator of this venture, or subcontracting all or a portion of that to someone else who will make the investment for the community.
The Private Lands Management Program is an economic incentive that the Department of Fish and Game provides to private landowners to maintain or enhance wildlife resources on their property. This program began in 1979. We had a 3-year pilot program with 5 ranches in 5 different counties in the state. And in 1984, the legislature enacted laws governing this program and expanding it as well. We have just a little under 900,000 acres in the program now. I know it doesn't sound like a lot, but every little bit helps. California is facing some tremendous problems with growth and infrastructure. We're losing our wildlife resources at a rate that I couldn't even imagine 10 years ago. So whatever we can help save now is just an added benefit.
The size of our operation here, our Sunlight Harvesting Ranch, is 3,500 acres. We started out with kind of seeing or getting exposed to a new idea of management. And the process that we're using here for management is holistic management, which is a decision-making model that boils around your family and your heritage and your future heritage and your quality of life that you want for you and your family, at the same time making a profit. And while you're making a profit, enhancing or developing or bettering the environment. So we leave this ranch in better shape than we found it, both financially, socially, and environmentally. And it happened that the Private Lands Management Program fit our goal of quality of life. We are all hunters in our family. We enjoyed that as a recreational opportunity for ourselves and our family, and so we basically kind of started an extended family of clients that have been locked into unreal environments like the blacktop jungle in Los Angeles and other big cities. And so we invite them in on a very short-term selected hunt to experience the same kind of thing we experience every day. And they're willing to pay very large amounts of money, it seems to me. Basically, we offer a quality outdoor experience and charge people a very large amount of money for that. The state Fish and Game people here in California, with the